Hi, welcome to the Godot community. My name is Sahira Dean. I am your virtual PLC for high school 2D art. Tonight's topics will be recruiting, vertical teaming, contest, and student opportunities. So I think the biggest and most important thing about recruiting and promoting is actually taking pictures and spreading the word and the images, of course, about what you're doing in your classroom, what your students are doing in your classroom. So sharing with middle school teachers so they can share with their students and their parents. When you tag or tweet out images or post them on Instagram, tag your principal, tag the middle school principal, tag the, just community members, because that's a big part of just spreading the word and allowing people to see what's inside your classroom. A lot of times the art classrooms are kind of tucked away, like at my current school, we're downstairs and it's just the art department down there essentially. So, if I'm not we don't get a lot of traffic from students that are not in the art classes. So a lot of that is, putting work on display or allowing people to see. A lot of allowing people to see what goes on in your classroom is putting work on display in main hallways and definitely using your social media platform. Another thing is allowing students to be more visible. So a lot of times, art students are going to be, they'll be friends. They would have known each other from middle school, elementary school, if they went to the same school. But, they connect pretty easily through their talent, which is art. So they stick together. Sometimes they don't spend a lot of time or a lot of them are not in the science or the math clique, so to speak. So allowing them to be more visible outside of the classroom is a big part of promoting and recruiting for your program, because students, will see them engaged in doing these different things. So here we are painting the rebranding the stadium at one of my old schools or one of my former schools. So of course, we would leave before class started. They would have aprons, they might hear us. We had a cart, which would make a lot of noise, so the cart going down the hallway, would attract a lot of attention. And, they would see us out painting on the football field. So a lot of students gain a little bit of notoriety, from rebranding or this rebranding act. And of course, again, taking pictures, sharing it on social media platforms, tagging as many people as you can is a great way to promote and recruit for your program. Another thing is doing murals in school. And a lot of times, you get, as an art teacher, you get a lot of requests from different teachers and from your principal, so definitely don't wear yourself thin by saying yes to everything. And then also allow yourself to do some things that you want to do, right? So one initiative that we had one year was to do some different murals. So this is the students during school time actively engaged in painting the murals. So we took about a good 2 weeks to do this, and we made it curriculum related. So it definitely tied into the curriculum. But, during class changes, because this was actually one class, or the class that I took was during lunchtime. So they would get a lot of that lunchroom traffic, like people going to and from lunch. What class are y'all in? Other students stopping and just watching, taking pictures and selfies with the murals. Always a good thing, because they will take pictures and promote it on their social media. So another awesome thing is to, be, again, visible during some of those high traffic times during the school day, because a lot of times students seeing that might go to their counselor and ask to take that class next year. One other thing is branding. So a few years we started doing our own art shows. A few consecutive years, we started creating art shirts that went with the different art shows that we did. So for this particular show, the idea was to do a reverse tie-dye. So we did that during the school day. Some students came in the morning, or if they finished their project early, they were allowed time to work on their reverse tie-dye. So we allowed them to hang in the classroom. Of course, I'm taking pictures, tweeting them out. And then they wore them, leading up to the art show. So, they got a lot of attention just based on, oh, who made that shirt? Or I saw such and such with a shirt like that. So the conversations come up with, I did it, I'm a part of this art program, or I'm in this art class. So a lot of the recruiting, if you do it cleverly enough, your students will do a lot of the recruiting and promoting for you, because of course they're proud of, what they've done, and they want to kind of brag a little bit. Another thing is setting up during lunchtime. So the homecoming week for high school is an awesome opportunity to promote and recruit and be visible. So in the lunchroom, one day during homecoming week, we had a photo booth, so students made their props, and it was a fundraiser, but it was also just a way for the students to be more visible outside of the classroom. And of course, those conversations came up about, what class you're in, how'd y'all get to do this, that kind of thing. So again, as a teacher, take as many pictures as you can and promote those through your social media platforms. Field trips are actually another way to recruit and promote. Sometimes students just want a day out the building. So a lot of times, some students would take those art classes because, we were active, going on field trips, doing art shows, painting different murals and things like that. Students want to be engaged and immersed in school in a variety of different ways. Not everybody's an athlete, not everybody is, wanting to, cheerlead or whatever. So getting students engaged through art opportunities is another way to cleverly promote and recruit for your program, just because the word gets out about, oh, the art class is doing this, or the art teacher's doing this, and students want to be involved a lot of times. And this is another field trip that we went on to the Emory Museum, and then to an artist studio, and then to another gallery at the bottom. But again, just getting students out the building, they go back and share and tell their friends, the word just kind of spreads to different people about just the awesome things going on in class and outside of class. So in terms of vertical teaming, not all meetings have to be boring. So I think one cool way to get more teacher participation is to, especially with art teachers, is to allow the meetings to be hands-on, and sometimes meet at a restaurant just to, kind of talk and share and swap ideas. So getting creative about the types of meetings that you have, so it's not just all like data driven all the time. Is a great opportunity to vertical team with not only middle school teachers, but just, it could be elementary, middle school, high, but really getting to know the team, especially the students that will come to you as a high school teacher. So getting to know the team of teachers that help to create and nurture that students before you got to meet them is definitely important. Being on the same page in terms of language and verbiage is definitely important as well. So vertical teaming is definitely an important part of teaching. So recruiting, contests, and promoting, that kind of all goes hand in hand sometimes. So of course, making art visible, making students visible, allowing them to spread the words and kind of brag about what they're doing and what's coming up. But of course, contests, when students win a contest, just the stars that light up in their eyes is, it's like nothing kind of beats that sometimes. So getting students to, or allowing students to participate in contests, and then allowing them to see that, see their competition a lot of times promotes them, or a lot of times allowing students to see their competition. It sometimes, it forces them to, I need to practice, or I need to bring my sketchbook home. So contests, if used creatively and, with no pressure, can be a great reward and payoff for your program and definitely for the student. And of course, when they win, bragging rights all around for the student, for the program, for the principal, and things like that. So finding out about different opportunities is definitely a rewarding factor for your program. And then when you're having art shows, of course, making sure there's a flyer visible so that, students, administration, parents coming into the building can have the opportunity to come and see the work and meet the artists. So it all kind of just plays hand in hand. When you have art shows, I think food is a really cool reward, so to speak, to have for not only the participating artists, but for, visitors that come. It's just something about food that just, it gives it a homey, kind of a family vibe. So it just makes it more inviting. So if possible, try to have some type of hors d'oeuvre or food at the art show. It also makes the students feel really special because they'll recall those memories from high school. Oh, we used to, have art shows every month. We always had food, or, memories are created, I feel, around the kitchen table, so to speak. So art shows, making them as nice as possible, whether it's music or things like that, is definitely a way for, definitely a way to recruit and promote your program as well.